Hey, what is up everybody? My name is Holden. Welcome back to another commentary, and today we're going to be getting into some advanced warfare, as well as talking about the up and coming season for South African gamers when it comes down to competitive gaming and the future of it on the Xbox 360 and or the Xbox One. So come and stick around and join us, as you're going to be watching some Modern Warfare 3 play that I managed to get from the previous weekend. I was quite surprised when I actually put in the game and found some local South Africans in the lobby. I managed to get a Moab and actually not die during the entirety of the match, which unfortunately caused quite a few players to leave. And so yeah, I just thought this would be appropriate because this was the last game Sledgehammer was involved in, and we're going to see a nice triple kill here with this index. Very good. So without any more delay, let's get straight into it, as we're going to have the discussion of where is the South African Call of Duty competitive community going to go when it comes to the transition from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, which is the main aim. Unfortunately, before I touch on that, let me just touch on one more thing. Sorry for myself in there. We are most likely, as organizers, going to start pulling away from the idea of PlayStation 3 Call of Duty tournaments. Just it's not viable anymore, and big thanks to the community, big thanks to people like Clint, who actually pushed the move. That's CS, the boss man, and who was one of the guys who helped push the move along with the organizers and all that kind of jazz to try get as many players across to the Xbox 360 as possible. Now what we are seeing is that the PlayStation community, when it comes to competitive gaming, is not responding that well to tournaments. I think the last tournament we had less than 16 teams, and half of those teams, I'd like to think, did not actually put in the effort even to play their games. So I can't see continued support for the PlayStation 3 side or even the PlayStation 4 side unless there's some miracle where a whole bunch of players just show up and want to play tournaments. Nonetheless, we are going to be moving to Xbox One in the near future. As a lot of you know, it's a very expensive move for a lot of players, especially the younger players, the younger than 18, where you don't have your own job, and where it just becomes quite a mission to try convince your parents to drop 6,200 Rand on a console for you. So in the next coming months, Xbox 360 is still going to be supported, but I believe that there's going to be a tipping point where once enough teams start to rise up on the Xbox One side. So what I'm thinking about as a rough estimate is that as soon as we hit the ballpark of around 16 teams on the Xbox One, we have to kind of patter away the Xbox 360 side and then just start solely providing for Xbox One, which means that there's most likely not going to be any more Xbox 360 tournaments. As you guys know, Xbox One has become the international standard, especially since its release in North America and Europe. And one of the biggest problems for that in South Africa is we always find ourselves playing catch up. I mean, even at the moment Xbox One has not been released, that's still on its way out to us, and I think everybody's making a mad scramble to try get their hands on it. But what I'm trying to say is that we always need to play catch up, and we need to try get to these international standards. And our highlighted event of the year, we must say that it is the Call of Duty Championship qualifications. We all know what happened this year, what a big mess up it was, and we have to try figure out the best way that we can compete on that international standard, and that's going to be via the Xbox One, and trying to get ourselves across to the United States if it's still hosted there, with our best fighting chance of trying to compete against those guys. So when we're talking about the transition, I believe that we as organizers need to try cater as much as possible to the community that is ready to take those next steps into the international level. That's the whole reason why I personally got myself involved with organizing tournaments back in the day, because I was sitting on the sidelines going, this is an international standard. This isn't up to the standard that we need to try develop to at least be able to develop some media attention towards our side, be able to put ourselves out there on the international level, and even try to get scrims with international teams. I mean, if you probably had to go over to any professional Call of Duty team at the moment, and say, listen, we want to play a scrim on the Xbox 360, most of them will probably laugh at you, because the tournaments and the professionals have moved over now to the Xbox One. And once you make that one step forward, it is very difficult to make that step back, because you're going to keep on making excuses saying this is an inferior console, this is the inferior playstyle, the gameplay lacks in XYZ and different areas. So as an organizer and as a person who's always tried to push this community forward on the international level, and as a competitive gamer myself, I think we need to make that transition as fast as possible. Whether the community is going to jump on that train, which I really recommend that they do. We all know Christmas is coming up, so all you guys trying to get those consoles for the Xbox One, try and make sure that's on your wish list. And to all those probably under the age of 10, please make sure that you are writing to Santa to try and get him that to you. So what we're trying to figure out at the moment is, are we going to be running Xbox 360? And yes, we are. That's definitely going to run its way into the course of the new year. And what we need to try to do is, when we get to around January or February of next year, I think that transition needs to be pushed through completely, where we need to make sure that we have a Xbox One League going, or at least some form of ranking system, which is coming. And what we need to make sure is that we are developing every possible way that we can to make sure that we don't embarrass ourselves when it comes down to international competition, or at least try to be on that level. Some of you guys might believe you're on that level already, but we always get a rude awakening when we compete against those international standards. What we're trying to do at the moment is trying to push those boundaries of trying to get that international competition. We've had some plans unfortunately fall through in the past, but I stress that's going to be one of the most important things. And I actually even spoke to, I'm going to say his name, it's Rocky from many a team. I think it's still Nero at the moment. I could be wrong though. I think he might be in Origin. Spoke to him and he says they're going to actually be getting involved in some international competitions despite the lag, and playing against some European teams. So whether that's true or not, that's awesome, and that's what we need to start pushing for, is pushing for that international experience and trying to get as far as possible. So once again, if I can just take 2 steps back and go back to the position of the Xbox 360 versus Xbox One debate, is that as soon as, I believe as a tournament host and as an organizer, as soon as we see 16 teams available to play online on the Xbox One, we need to stop completely on the Xbox 360. The reason I say that is because as an organizer, it has become increasingly difficult to host on 2 different consoles. And we'll be faced with the same situation that we had with the Xbox One versus the Xbox, should I say, the Xbox 360 versus the PlayStation 3. Is that once you spread the community, then you're catering to them and not actually enforcing a standard of play that you really, you know, that is going to be the way that is followed internationally. And that was on the Xbox 360, but we recognized that the PS3 community was big enough at that time, and I think it was a right move at that time. But now we got to start drawing the line in the sand and saying, listen here, we're reaching a point where we can't do this anymore. We need to cater to those who are also willing to take the steps. You might be willing, but you might not be able to afford an Xbox One. But that's unfortunately something that you need to try get your way towards if you're serious about competing as a South African gamer. A couple of new systems will be introduced in the Year 4 Advanced Warfare season, should I say. That's the season from November 2014 to 2015. We touched on a subject a while ago. I think that's once again Clint touched on the subject of pro points, and we will be trying to implement that, or should I say I will be trying to implement that soon in the near future. And what that should do is just act as a basis for a ranking system, so we can truly tell who's the best players at that point in South Africa, who's the best clans, but also rewarding clan owners and also separating that between individual players. But that's something that we'll be able to touch on in the near future, and I should probably leave that for this commentary. So once again in Roundup, we are going to be moving towards the Xbox One in the near future, and if you can try get on that train as fast as possible, I think it's going to be to the greater benefit of all of us South African Call of Duty console competitive gamers. But anyway, that's the commentary for today. I think I ended up 40 odd for nothing. But it was a good game, and I will catch you later. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.